welcome to We the People. This past week we have seen that Greenpeace has made the government see red. Perhaps in an unprecedented collision course, the government's lawyers have strongly argued in court that one of Greenpeace's activists, Priya Pillai, was not just anti-national in the perspective of the government, but should be forbidden from canvassing her causes outside India. Priya Pillai was of course stopped from proceeding to London, where she was going to meet with a group of British parliamentarians to talk about a coal block in India that Greenpeace is protesting against, a coal block that SR Energy is involved in, and Greenpeace's argument has been that SR is registered in London, hence Priya Pillai was headed to London. But on We the People today, we ask the larger question. Is the government on a collision course with NGOs in general and Greenpeace in particular? Why would the government invest any political capital in this battle when India has so many other genuine battles? But does the NGO sector also have to account for itself and offer greater transparency? A Home Ministry report says, and this was from 2014, that NGOs get 11,500 crores in foreign funds. But according to this report, only 2% of the 20 lakh NGOs file returns. Is this a figure that the NGO world accepts? And who's right and who's wrong when it comes to the world's largest democracy on this collision between liberty versus national interest as the government has positioned it? I'll start with you, Sambit Patra. Is this really the battle you need to be fighting? You have made Priya Pillai sitting next to you, whom none of us knew a week ago, one national headline. So actually you've helped her, not yourself.
We have helped the country, by the way.
How?
Now I'm coming to that point, but with a caveat that these documents are very important documents.
Which documents?
I mean the IB reports and all that you were speaking about.
Yes.
So I also derive my knowledge as you derive your knowledge from newspapers only.
Yes.
Priya Pillai, I wish you good, but Priya Pillai has all her constitutional rights.
Your government law officers called her an anti-national person in court. You're wishing her well.
No one is. There's a point of view over here.
Yeah.
Her constitutional rights have never been curtailed.
Yes.
As far as the lookout circular was concerned, it was for a particular event, and that particular event was her going to the UK to depose before the APPG, the all-party parliamentary group, which the intelligence bureau of this country had reports that because of the personal deposition of Miss Priya Pillai, would take up this issue and use it as a foreign policy instrument to see to it that India is ranked low in the perspective of tribal welfare.
And why would Greenpeace want this? Why exactly would Greenpeace want this?
This is a very pertinent question, to which, Barkha, I would say, and I believe most of us would agree over here, with all due respect to Greenpeace and Ms. Priya Pillai, that I would first repose faith on the constitutional agencies of the countries like Intelligence Bureau and thereafter on any NGO.
It's not a constitutional agency, just so that our words are a little transparent and reflective.
Exactly. IB is not a constitutional agency.
It's not even a statutory body.
But the courts are. The courts are part of...
Just a second. It may not be a constitutional body.
Okay, complete your point.
Or a statutory body.
Indira, just a second. It may not be...
I think he's hallucinating.
You made him nervous, I think.
I'm the instrumentality of the state of India.
Okay, Sambit, complete your point, then I want to
point is, I have more faith on the Intelligence Bureau of the country and the deposition that it has made than Greenpeace.
Okay.
Than Greenpeace.
Okay.
So definitely I stand by what the Intelligence Bureau of this country says.
Priya, let me start with you and then we'll get Vrinda, who's involved in the legal defense of Greenpeace. You know, everything else is okay. We can agree and disagree on Greenpeace's ideology, its politics, its way of activism. Some would call it militant, some would say it's peaceful. What a number of Indians will want to ask you is, why do you need to take your fight against an Indian policy to politicians of another country?
Good point.
Why can't you fight this at home?
Good
I think
idea.
that is what has disturbed a number of people.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, Barkha. But before that, I'd like to use this show to say that I am Indian. And I'm very proud to be an Indian, all the more because I've been branded anti-national in this country without any reasons. There's been no reason in law. And today I was just reading that somebody was just telling me that the government thinks I'm even Naxal. Okay, so I just wanted to say I'm Indian and I'm a proud Indian. Now, coming on to the whole issue that has been raised on IB. See, we know
We'll
that
discuss the IB report, but answer my question. Why another country?
Right.
Yeah.
Why parliamentarians?
Why not?
So SR
Why not?
Just a second.
Why not?
SR
This is
why not?
a free
SR
country.
Energy-
We'll get
This
to
is
the
a
why
free
not.
country.
No,
We'll
but
get to
why
the
can't you go
why
abroad?
not? It's just a
What
moment.
is
Let her-
this?
let her-
What is this?
But we are not a colonized
SR
country.
Energy-
One second, one-
Exactly,
one-
you're
one-
not a colony.
Meghna,
Let
hang
it
on for a
be.
second.
SR Energy is a company. It's a company that's registered in London. Up until mid last year, this company was enlisted in the London Stock Exchange.
Okay.
It's been delisted now.
Yeah.
It has its headquarters in Mauritius. Now, we have been raising issues of human rights as well as environmental violations against a company registered
But
in a
SR
foreign...
has a formidable presence here. You can
It
raise
has,
with
but
them
where is it registered? What is its home country? If it has its formidable presence here, why is
Okay,
it not
stop with
registered
one line
here?
and then Brinda.
Let me just complete.
Yeah.
So we are not against the government of India. We are talking about violations of a foreign company that the company is doing to Indians in
Okay,
this
Samit,
country.
quick response and then I have to open up the panel.
All I have to say, well, yes, SR may be registered in London or wherever in this world, but SR did not just walk into India and start business over here. It must be in accordance with the Indian rules that it came over here. So if you want to oppose SR, it has to be in India. And
I would
secondly,
like to-
if tomorrow
Yeah.
you want to oppose the nuclear deal,
Yes.
which was signed
I'd
between
like
India
to-
and America,
Yeah.
then you do not go and speak against India in America. You have to oppose it on
Okay,
the
let
floor
me
of
give
India.
Brinda and I'll come to you, Kavita. Brinda, one of the figures that was cited in the same Home Ministry report was that 8 of the 11 NGOs that protested against the Kurunkulam nuclear plant were funded by European donors, receiving 80 crores. I'm quoting from a Home Ministry report. Why am I quoting this figure? I'm quoting this figure because there is a perception among some people who are wary of especially foreign funding and organizations like Greenpeace that there is an attempt to change the dynamics of India's energy sector, and that attempt is being pushed from outside India. That is, in a sense, what the lawyers are arguing on behalf of the government when it comes to Priya's case as well. There's a foreign hand.
Actually, what the government was arguing in Priya's case was rather absurd and had no basis whatsoever in law, except to raise this ghost and this bogey of the foreign hand,
Yeah.
which I think they do in the media, but perhaps we should not be indulging in that in the court. The figures that you are citing, the NGO sector or human rights activists or human rights community
Yeah.
has dissenting views, diverse views, plural views, how development and growth is to take place in this country.
Yes.
It is not
A monolith.
it is not
or a
something that
homogeneous-
the
yeah.
government of the day alone will decide in a democracy. It is not, as Sambit keeps telling us, we have decided this will happen. I'm sorry, I'm not living under a dictatorship. If I am going to espouse a diverse view, if they think in Mahan, coal mining is going to cause climate change,
Yeah.
tribal rights are being violated, people of Mahan and activists must raise
But
their
are
voice.
there issues of
That
foreign
is
funding?
not.
Are there issues
Can
of
I-
foreign funding? And I want J.K.
Can-
Bajaj to
can
come
I-
in. Kavita, I'm
just-
coming to you in a
just a
second.
minute.
Just going down the panel. Yeah.
Foreign funding also comes in, like FDI, through rules and laws.
Okay.
It is allowed through the FCRA Act.
Okay.
All those organizations are registered. Their reports are submitted to the government of India. Foreign funding is not parachuted into Kudakulam or anywhere else.
J.K. Bajaj, you have been part of a group that is actually saying stop foreign funding of NGOs. You're taking it that far. How do you see this Greenpeace face-off with the government?
I think the issue before us is very simple. Let's not complicate it.
Yes.
The Constitution guarantees the right to freedom of expression.
Yes.
Does that right extend to going abroad and talking against
Can I
India?
just finish?
Does that
Can
right?
I-
No,
because you
no.
must-
We have
you
to.
must-
We have to decide only one
You
issue.
must- no, you
We
cannot-
have to decide only
I-
one issue.
no.
Do the Indian issue?
Do I have
do
the right to
Indian
personal
issues-
liberty, which
do we
includes
have? Do we
the
have
right
the
to
freedom?
travel abroad?
Do we have the freedom to involve third parties?
Okay.
In
Okay.
our
No, no,
campaign,
can I come in?
our
Then-
political
then
issues.
let's not
are-
go
That is
FDI.
where the debate is.
Let us not
That
do
is where
I
the
would
debate
like to
is.
Let us
FDI
not
in this
invite
country.
Let him
FDI.
speak, let him
Let
speak.
us stop
Brenda, let him
all
speak.
FDI in this country. There will be no
Okay, what's the
foreign
difference
funding.
between FDI and foreign funding for NGOs? Mr. Bajaj.
Look,
This is
NGOs are
FDI,
doing
SR is FDI.
NGOs are
Exactly.
doing voluntary activity.
Okay,
They are not in the business of commerce. They are in the business of commerce. They should
businessmen
go
can do
and
anything.
get the FDI.
Achha, let him
Businessmen
speak.
can do anything.
They
Achha, come on,
are
in the
doing
interest of
voluntary
free speech, he must be
activity,
allowed his
and
opinion.
voluntary activity by definition
Yes.
is an activity to be done in the society
Yeah.
with the resources of that society.
Okay.
It cannot be.
So
I
what,
don't
what
know where
disturbs,
these definitions are
Professor
coming
Bajaj,
from,
identify...
I'll tell you where it
what
is coming from.
Sir, my question. What disturbs you about Greenpeace right now?
I have not heard that name. I am not disturbed. The previous government was disturbed by Greenpeace because they were disrupting Kudankulam.
Yes.
And the current government seems to be disturbed because somebody from Greenpeace is going to a foreign parliamentary group and deposing against India.
Kavita, let's pick up
not
this
against
point.
India, against
point.
SR Energy.
No,
she is not deposing against India. These are the slippages you make.
And it's not even a deposition.
There cannot be a third party in Indian disputes.
Let us not have SR Energy operating in Indian environment.
My question. Please pick up on Mr. Bajaj's point that can you involve another country and its government, not even media outside.
I'd like to respond there.
We live in a globalized world.
No, I want to point out that this government has appointed as India's economic advisor a person who till 2 months before his appointment had been egging on the American Congress, advising the American Congress to take action under WTO against India unless India stopped protecting
what does that
the
prove?
availability.
Even if that's
of
true, what is that?
That
What's
is
the
true.
connection to this debate?
Government of India is wrong.
No. If the government is allowed to appoint as to decide India's economic fate, economic direction, someone who has done. Someone who has deposed, actually egged on the Americans to act against us. What is wrong with Priya talking to UK parliamentarians to ask the UK companies to implement our laws?
Let him respond.
If Kavita is right, this only proves the neutrality of the government. The
No,
government
it does not.
Can I complete? Can I complete? Did the intelligence have anything against any particular person that you are speaking about? If the report is submitted by the intelligence bureau, by the previous government and the present government, then definitely action has to be taken by the government in accordance with the intelligence bureau report.
Can we have a
No. You tell me one thing. You are talking about a third
IG?
body intervening into all this. Would you agree? Pakistan. Would you agree with the fact that Pakistan and India have been tussling out on a third body coming into Kashmir? Tomorrow you would say that, well, yes, you would like to go and
Raji, now wait.
that they should come in as a third body as far as Pakistan is concerned, as far as Kashmir is concerned.
Kashmir, I'm happy to do that.
Kashmir is a separate call.
No, she's happy to get the plebiscite done.
I'm happy to talk about that.
Please.
He wants to whip up people against human rights.
Absolutely wrong.
No,
okay, 1 minute.
You cannot have a third opinion on issues of national interest.
Sambit, 1 minute.
If Sambit wants to talk about the IB, let's do that.
We will come to
Maybe
the IB
he's running
and
the show and the government.
He's drawing an analogy. He's saying, for example, we would not, from what I'm understanding, we would not accept third-party intervention in our debates around Kashmir, and you're linking
Are we
that.
talking about Kashmir here?
He's drawing. This is his point.
Since you told about third
Can I
party,
move
I'm
on?
giving an example.
Can I move on? Can I move on, please?
Third parties should not come in India.
Please.
say.
Rajiv and Meghnad have been waiting. Rajiv, please.
My research, which I published 4 years ago in a substantial book, since I lived in the US for 45 years, is based on US funding sources for countries like India.
Yes.
Who they are, what they do, why they are doing it, how they're linked with the government, with the CIA, with church, with various authorities.
Yes.
And I have named people like Udit Raj and John Dayar, whom I debated as
Udit Raj is the BJP MP.
Yes, I know
from
that.
Delhi.
We don't know
No,
that.
I'm telling people. You and I know it. The people should also
But I'm
know
not
it.
concerned about it.
He's the BJP MP. I know Rajiv is not
I'm not concerned about who he is.
Yeah, okay.
I'm saying,
what is your point?
And they have given testimony in Washington to official government agencies, the Congress, to impose sanctions against India on various grounds. And this business about Obama coming and scolding India for religious freedom and human rights, one has to link it to where he got it from. Obama is not a scholar on this. He got it from the US Commission on International Religious Freedom. And that commission is where these gentlemen and many others like them have gone and given testimony.
So how does this link to the debate around...
So the debate is that Indians are actually being hired, employed to provide what Americans call atrocity literature, which is a very American term, which means what are the atrocities in that country. So atrocity literature was used as an argument to attack Iraq for human rights interventions. Atrocity literature was used in many foreign interventions.
So you're saying this is a grand American conspiracy?
No, it's not a conspiracy. It's established. The term atrocity literature, you look up, you guys should look up. It's a well-established American term.
What are the issues at stake here?
Issue is an inferiority complex about foreigners. India is a big country. No country can tell India what to do. And it doesn't matter whether Priya Pillai goes to UK or US or anywhere and gives evidence. Giving evidence to an AP all-party parliamentary group in an obscure room in UK will not even make a 13th page news in British newspapers. It's only news in India.
But
Why? Because they're inferiority complex. Oh, she's telling foreigners. Who cares?
But as a
Thank you. Why don't, if you feel like that, why doesn't the Lok Sabha, why does the Lok Sabha have a committee to examine American atrocities?
No. Yes.
UK violation.
Exactly.
It's the same thing. Does anybody come to meet Indian Parliament about atrocities outside? I mean, the question can be reversed.
Yes.
Does it happen?
They do. Sri Lankans did. Sri Lankans have it with the Indian Parliament over and over again, and Indian Parliament
the government has foolishly made what would have been a non-event into a big event and given publicity to India's problems all over the world.
Do you agree that a non-event has been made into an event?
Yes, that may be a non-event. That may be a non-event. Okay. Greenpeace may be a non-entity. What matters is the government of India has the right to stop somebody from deposing abroad.
No, and that right cannot be abrogated.
I need to come on that.
Okay,
We're talking about a right that the government has, and it's not true.
I think the bigger issue
I've been
is
listening to everyone, and they're all hitting over the government, and I'm over here quiet.
Okay, one at a time. I'll start with Rajiv, then Sambit, then Vrinda.
India's legal system should be upheld and not subverted. It's not the British Parliament. I know you're a member there. It's not the British Parliament that we are not colonized people anymore. It is not the British Parliament that has any jurisdiction or any authority to have these hearings. And I would say on grounds of principles, we should file the case. They should have fought the case on environmental grounds and on human rights grounds in India and use the Indian system. So for instance, you have Sunita Narayan. You have people like Sunita Narayan who are fighting in the Indian system and they are getting justice. And I think they are the right.
I can't follow if you all speak together. I can't follow if you all speak together. Priya, Kavita, 1 minute. Priya, Sambit, Vrinda, Kavita, in that order. Priya,
yes, it's not like we are not engaging with the Indian government or with the system within the country. Courts, yes, we have filed a case in the National Green Tribunal. We have a court case in Madhya Pradesh High Court.
Continue with that.
We are continuing with that, but that doesn't stop me from talking, using other avenues. What stops me from using other avenues?
No,
sir, let me just complete.
Okay, Sambit, let me put the question to you a little bit differently. I think Meghnad makes an interesting point. Does the government not come across as paranoid and insecure by focusing so much on one person and one NGO?
Yes.
By all means, dislike Greenpeace. By all means, hate them, hate their
pick up one word of what the Lord said. He said, who cares? Who cares? The government made a propaganda out of it. I would say, no, everyone cares. Lord Desai, I mean, right now, about 10 days ago, we were discussing, the whole of the media was discussing about what Obama was saying against India. What Obama was discussing about the Christian missionaries, the Christians not being, being tortured in India. But tell me, are really Christians or Muslims, for that matter of purpose, tortured in India? Just please don't.
No, that's a whole different show.
Why is my speech curtailed? I am not interrupting anyone. I have a constitutional right of speaking in the big fight. Allow me. I would request both my friends on either side. See, you should be at peace. You are Greenpeace. Be at peace. Allow me. Allow me to Greenpeace. You are not being peaceful over here.
But the question here is,
be peaceful. If you are truthful, then be at peace. I'm at peace with myself.
Now, once again, my only point is Obama and his comments.
If only you allow me to speak.
Let him speak.
What Mr. Rajiv was saying about the religious freedom. 2014, some people go and depose in America, and then we should know, the audience should know, that America releases a document where it places India alongside Pakistan as country of particular concern. And this paper goes out across the globe. Please don't go and do business in India, because business in India cannot flourish. This hampers our FDI, this hampers the investment, because it becomes a document of interest for all the people who are interested in business in India. So what happens to Make in India? What happens to the employment that we are
how does this link to the current debate? Sambit, quickly then.
It is linked to the current debate because all these, this kind of sanction that only comes because of personal deposition of people like my friend Mr. Pillai. This government at least had the courage to stop. No constitutional rights were wrong.
Okay, Vrinda, I have a question for you. I want to come back to the perception. Let's take it forward.
1 minute. Okay. No, because I think there is a lot of, we cannot talk spread wrong message about what the Constitution guarantees, not when there are young people and this is being broadcast. I'm sorry. Whether any constitutional right is violated or not Can we allow the Delhi High Court to decide that and not Sambit Patra or the government of India? That matter is going to be settled very soon
in court.
If the Constitution of India actually is granting the right to seek third-party intervention in Indian affairs, then we should amend the Constitution.
I will answer that. If you want to amend the Constitution, speak to the government. Let me say what you said. The freedom of speech and expression, the freedom of association to work with any organization, form an NGO, the freedom of personal liberty to travel abroad is guaranteed by the Indian Constitution.
Okay, now I have a question.
No,
please,
just 1 minute.
Therefore,
there is a violation of her constitutional rights.
I have a question. Now, I have a question. This week, Canada's intelligence also called Greenpeace a violent and growing threat to its energy and security interests. Why do I bring this up, Vrinda? Because we are not the only country that is grappling with how to tackle Greenpeace's positioning or its politics. I'm quoting from a Canadian intelligence report, questions its foreign funding.
Now, if you have a global economy,
but
that
I'd like to answer that.
Once again,
can we please, throughout when Sambit was answering you, what were the concerns that he was highlighting?
Yes.
The concerns of business.
India was the only concern, remember.
He said
There is no second
India
is the only concern.
You just taught me manners, right?
I was just giving you the case of your own medicine.
Okay.
Barkha, can I just...
No, let Vrinda answer that. We'll come back to it.
Since the man...
So I come back to the 8 out of the 11 NGOs opposing the Kudankulam nuclear plant funded by European donors.
Nuclear energy has been, and so has fossil fuel and climate change, are issues of global debate. If foreign companies are going to invest...
You never preach America on carbon emission. You never preach America on carbon emission. You have to preach India only on everything.
No, the US does not feel the same pressure.
Once again, if you all speak together, it is impossible to follow.
I would request...
Quick interjection.
No, I'm sorry, they don't... If you're not going to let others finish and allow Sambit Patra to...
But you've spoken the most so far. You have the freedom to say something.
Are you now feeling insecure?
Okay, come on. Okay, Vrinda, one sentence, then Rajiv, and then Kavita's been waiting a long time. Vrinda, please make your
come in after Vrinda. Human rights are going to be issues of global concern. They will be raised globally. There will be no borders on this. Energy concerns of countries will have to be balanced with rights of people.
Okay.
That is the debate taking
Kavita, then Rajiv.
I would like to make a couple of points here. Yes. 2 points. Yes. One is that the issue is not of appealing for justice to the UK parliamentarians.
Yes.
You are asking the UK parliamentarians to rein in a UK company to make sure that a UK-based company obeys Indian laws and international human rights standards.
Yeah.
On the same line, we also ask the Indian courts and the Indian parliament and the Indian political parties.
But when there is money coming in,
one second.
When
there is money coming in? Where is the money coming in?
Is the country entitled to worry what the motivation is of that money coming in?
Let me talk about money coming in. Yes. The Madhya Pradesh BJP on record has received funding from Dow, which is involved in killing people in Bhopal. It has received money from Vedanta.
It has returned the money back
BJP and Congress have continued to receive foreign funding from Vedanta.
From Vedanta, one of the ancillary units was registered in India, from where we have
received... Guys, one very important point. You're continuously saying come to us, come to the Indian institutions. When a high-level committee, on tribal rights is submitted to the government in question today, the government suppresses the report and doesn't do anything about it.
That report was not complete. I have a copy of that. It was. They said it is.
Here is the question. Barkha, if the government suppresses the report,
I think it's only fair.
If this government suppresses the report, does not mean you go to America and start believing in
America coming in.
If you do not have faith on this,
I used that report in one of the seminars recently, and one of the authors who was present said, Dr. Bajaj, don't quote this report, it is not complete.
Okay, 1 minute. Now we are getting lost in a haze of detail here.
You probably have it.
Rajiv and Meghna, please.
The point was,
taking questions. Raise your hand if you have questions.
I think there's a false perception that this human rights activism all over the world is global and beyond borders and all that stuff, because the impact on strong countries like the United States is not the same.
Yes.
They couldn't care a damn. China couldn't care a damn. Russia couldn't care a damn.
That's a good
France
point.
couldn't care a damn. Britain couldn't care a damn. Wait a second. What I'm saying is that the countries that have funded you, created these ideas and idealized this and made it very fashionable for Indians to get into this kind of a profession.
So we should ignore human rights violence.
Let me speak that. The impact of the United States is zilch compared to the impact, or you can have campus protests here, there. Nobody cares a damn. It is weak countries where the state is weak, and divided and fragmented, where the impact is stronger.
Okay, Meghnad, a weak state. 1 minute is not weak.
Rajiv, Meghnad now. Sambit, Vrinda, please, we have to move left of the panel also. Meghnad.
What puzzles me is that we like foreign direct investment.
Yes. Yes.
Indeed, the objection is that these people are preventing foreign direct investment coming.
Yeah.
Foreign direct investment can come and violate laws in India.
Yes.
But we can't.
We don't mind that. But if an NGO gets foreign money, it is betrayal. It is betrayal and
because
treachery.
They don't disclose.
Despite the fact that these people declare openly what is their Greenpeace declares, and 74% of Greenpeace's money comes from the Indian people.
Okay.
So it is not a foreign fund. Can I just say this? It shows that the government feels guilty about its inability to protect human rights of Indian citizens. That is why the guilty protest.
Okay, Meghnad Desai had a point when he said that we want to use the FDIs for our betterment, but then we do not want to go global on issues like this. Mr. Desai, you're right that we want FDIs, we want our business to grow, but that does not mean we should give up our sovereignty. Secondly, please, I was not interrupting. Be at peace, Greenpeace, be at peace. Secondly, and very importantly, no, it's not a bad joke.
The truth,
was I interrupting? You have to no, please, Vrinda, allow the truth to come out. As far as Mr. Desai's statement that 74% of their funding comes from the Indian population, the truth is, let Priya accept this, that probably last time their global budget was some 300 million euros, of which 72 million was a profit, 32 million was a loss. They are into currency speculation. Those who are working for human rights upliftment, why are they into the business of profit? Why are they into currency speculation? Heads have rolled in Greenpeace because of currency speculation. Is this the kind of thing that is happening in Greenpeace?
So many lies will be spread this way.
IB report.
This is there in your Greenpeace does not know.
Ask a question here.
That is ridiculous.
Okay, Vrinda, you can't speak for that.
Sorry, not that you made a loss of 32 million euros this time.
If you all speak together, you will not be heard. Priya, one of the allegations in the IB report accuses Greenpeace of having funded an Aam Aadmi Party candidate who used to be a Greenpeace volunteer in Mahan. Pankaj Singh, I think, was his name. I think this is something that you will have to confront as an accusation.
But Pankaj used to work with us, but before he went into AAP, he resigned from Greenpeace. You know, we have not funded. Bring out the evidence. Show where we funded AAP. First thing. Second, I just want to answer two more questions, which is very important. One on the international currency speculation. You know, Greenpeace works in 42 countries, you know, in the world.
Yes.
Anybody who deals with currency will know that anybody who deals with international foreign currency has to deal with fluctuating. Let me complete. Has to deal with fluctuating currency rates and protect itself around it. And that is what we did. We third is the Canadian thing.
Let's take questions. Yes.
Yeah. The NGOs are now fighting for this green cause in India. Why don't they make the foreign countries which are actually having the technology to provide the technology in India rather than using CDMs? They are offsetting their carbon waste in India.
Okay, now that's a different debate, not strictly connected to what we're discussing.
The real issue is that the government needs to be reflective. You haven't given Greenpeace the opportunity to properly showcase its viewpoint in India, which is why Greenpeace went to UK in the first place to make a bigger deal about it.
Okay, JK Bajaj, take that
question. Means nothing. If you have problem with India, fight it in India.
There's no
third-party adjudicator sitting in
India. They are in the High Court now.
Who has asked? Who has?
High Court is allowing them ample amount of time to answer.
High Court is about
and the Intelligence Bureau of this country, right, this government, the previous government, what is IB? IB is an institution. Say that
it's not an institution.
Say that you don't want to follow the IB.
Agency of the government of India.
Say that.
Okay, guys, come on. Come on. Now, you know, Priya and Vrinda. Sambit, poor chap, is in the middle of...
No, he's not a poor chap.
Poor chap because usko bolne do. He's on the wrong side of the debate, that's why he's a poor chap.
The wrong side of the debate is the correct position.
I'm in the correct position as far as security of the country is concerned. I'm very proud to do that.
Come on, guys.
Let the audience have a
1 minute.
Can we talk about the people of this country?
Yes, can I take a couple of
You don't have faith on the system of this country.
I can't shout as loud as all of you, so I'm requesting requesting all of you, just hold your thoughts. Let's take a few more questions.
I wish the government would think about
I think
it.
the government is very right in demanding transparency from NGOs.
Yes.
I mean, I wouldn't want the CIA or any other intelligence agencies to come into this country.
Absolutely.
But on the other hand, I think NGOs are doing extremely valuable work for this country. Greenpeace globally has done a great service to mankind by stopping corporate greed and corporate exploitation.
So you're kind of taking, you see the merit on both sides of the debate.
Exactly.
Will you take this question,
Yes,
Brinda?
yes.
That the Home Ministry says that only 2% of the 20 lakh registered NGOs that get foreign funds have filed
Yes.
income tax
All-
returns.
all NGOs.
Also, these are registered NGOs.
Yes.
Another report says there are more NGOs in India than there are even primary schools. This is what I read
Well,
somewhere.
I think under the RT, just a
Just
second, Kavita. I think under the RT, maybe they should be making more primary schools, and if they need foreign investment in that, one should welcome for primary schools run by the state. On the question of the NGOs,
Yes.
if the NGO is not filing its income tax returns and it is public money only to be used for public purpose, kindly debar that NGO. I say this unequivocally.
There is no debate. There is no debate similar as this. Why debar? Constitution.
Can I finish?
Let me come in on
Can
the
I
funding,
finish just
the
one
funding
second?
thing.
Greenpeace and its funding was put on a watch list by the IB, which is simply an agency with no statutory basis in this country. The Delhi High Court said, where is the material to put it on the watch list? And Greenpeace funds were released by the Delhi High Court.
Okay, J.K. Bajaj, respond to that.
IB,
IB
IB is a legitimate agency of the government
It's
of
not
India.
a legal agency.
It's a legitimate
It's not an
agency.
illegal
It's an
agency.
instrumentality of the government. What does it mean?
It's a very
What
serious
does
issue.
it? But that's not the issue.
This is more important than the Greenpeace, at least that you would agree.
Okay, come on,
is
Mr.
it easy
Bajaj.
to say that the government of
No,
India...
you have been showing
Please
as if
allow
IB is
other
something
people to
low-lying
speak.
organization.
Sambit.
It is far more important than Greenpeace, remember.
Sambit.
No, they should not malign the IB of India as if it is less important than
Professor
Greenpeace.
Bajaj.
Are we
Kavita,
discussing
please
IB?
wait.
Let
Vrinda,
me
please
we are
wait.
discussing very short.
Sambit, please let other,
No,
you guys have to let other people speak. Professor
It is
Bajaj.
very easy to sit here and say that NGO funds should be looked into by the government.
Yes.
They are free to do it.
Yes.
Any attempt to enforce transparency and accountability,
Yes.
the kind of reaction it leads
That's
to,
not
we have seen over the last week.
That's not true.
That whole army of lawyers get together to go up to the Supreme Court, and even the ordinary
It is not
accountability
even
gets...
a government
please
case
let
that
us-
any
Barkha,
of
Barkha,
that
on funding,
is
please
what-
let me make a
Kavita,
point on
one
funding
question
and
and then you
I
can
don't know
respond.
what you are arguing.
Okay, Kavita, let's take a question.
You seem to have a problem with
Sir,
human
with
rights
all
in
due
first
respect,
place.
I feel that you are very speculative towards our government in that you have said that the government is guilty and the government is insecure. Whereas, don't you think that the government is taking the right step to stop Miss Pillai and going out and
Once
disclose...
again, why do you
the
think
right
it's the right
step?
step?
Because we have seen countries like Iraq, like Afghanistan that have underdetermined because of the interventions of Western worlds. They have fallen and they have deteriorated. Why do you want the same to happen to India?
Why
Can you
Priya Pillai
seriously
talking about
compare?
Mahan trial?
Can you
Exploiting our resources.
The question is for Meghna, let him answer, then
Can
Kavita.
you
Yeah.
seriously compare India with
With
Iraq and
Iran?
Afghanistan? This is a big country. Hang on. This is a big country. By stopping Priya Pillai from going, the government has given more publicity that here is something to hide.
Okay.
India has nothing to
Okay,
hide.
Kavita.
India has
on
nothing
funding,
to hide.
Kavita, the next
whatsoever.
question. Kavita, the
India
next
should
question, then Rajiv.
Let
Come
the
on.
whole world come here.
Okay.
Let the whole world come here and look at
But
India.
Meghna,
We are not
but
worried.
Meghna, you haven't addressed Rajiv's point that there's an asymmetry in the influence. I think
There's
that's...
an asymmetry of power between the countries. So even if you hit them equally, the stronger doesn't get hurt as much as the weaker gets hurt. And the countries that are leading the
strong
NGOs,
country.
there are no...
We are a strong country.
No, wait a
We are
second.
not a weak country.
There
we
are
are a strong country.
There are no
We are
great...
not worried about
How?
America.
Wait a second.
We are not worried about
Wait,
America.
wait,
We are a
there are-
strong country.
I understand.
other
Wait,
countries.
I
We are a
understand.
strong country.
There are no African...
No.
There
We
are
are
no
a big
African
power.
Okay,
powers.
okay, let Rajiv
Some
complete his
India
point.
begins.
May I
Hurry,
complete
let
my
Rajiv
point? May I
complete.
complete my point?
Barkha,
We are
do
a big
Americans
Coming
come
to you in a second.
Do Americans
We are
come
a
to
big
India
power.
begging and pleading
Oh
that
my God.
we do not have...
Okay,
Okay,
Wait a second. Let me say something.
Can we hear each other? Can we hear each other, Rajiv, and then Kavita? Yes.
We don't hear of great NGOs starting from Africa that go around the world or Latin America that go around the world. Don't they have a view? Aren't they intelligent people?
How can I
Why
come-
is it that Western-inspired, Western
Okay,
ideological NGOs, West is
Okay,
20%
Kavita.
Please, let me
of the
come in
world
there.
is the West.
No, Barkha, you have to let me
Population-wise.
respond to this.
Respond.
Yeah.
There is a Western-inspired NGO. everyone knows that the Prime Minister of this country has a book on climate change.
Yes.
The forward by it is by a Western-inspired NGO called Climate Change something, which has links with Tony Blair.
Against the Prime Minister.
My
Only one point agenda.
You will not let her speak.
My point
No,
is,
you were not allowing anyone to speak.
Let us speak.
Can I
Let
make
us
my
speak.
point?
Let us speak.
My
Make your
point is that how come that some foreign-inspired NGOs who are on the climate change side with the UK and the US and so on are okay with this government, but those that are talking about our laws and the violation of our laws are in the wrong.
And
the other,
this is a well-known fact. Only about 2 days ago, Mr. Narendra Modi spoke about the global changes that are occurring as far as climate is concerned. Just a second. That does not mean that India... Just a second. But if you would remember, the Prime Minister was very categorical in stating that no one should come and teach us about carbon emission. We will teach the world as to how carbon emission is to be controlled. And that should be the spirit which my finding She should learn from India rather than trying the West to intervene in India.
Okay. Off the mark.
You all are off the mark. You all are off India. Don't say that we are off the mark.
I am sorry, I object to being called these kind of terms that you are off India. This language will have to be
You were calling me out.
This language
No. I was making my point. You called that Sambit is off the mark. I say that you are off Indian security measures because you write foreign nations.
Come on,
we have a Supreme Court. We have
We don't have to shout. We don't have to shout, says she shouting. Okay, 1 minute. 1 minute. Okay, Vrinda, Sambit, hold just half a second. Let's your age.
With all due respect, I'm not against the NGOs or the government, but my question is that, I mean, what comes down to a citizen of India like me is that eminent citizens of India do not have trust in the Indian judiciary.
Can I answer that? I think it's important.
Pillar of our democracy.
I think it's important.
Then I have to take a break.
Please understand.
Very good point.
The citizens of this country, I am a lawyer. I go to the court for rights of people like we went for Priya Pillai's. SR Energy. Let's come to the point here. Please don't interrupt. When he doesn't like a point, he jumps in. SR Energy is a UK-based company. The Member of Parliament of UK can have the authority to rein in their business and say, you are violating human rights in India, you will not conduct business like this. Today, global economies are operating. Indian economy has been opened to FDI. The rights of the people who you and I don't usually see or hear about, the indigenous population...
But her question is different. Why don't you have trust in the judiciary to settle this dispute?
They have. There are
judiciary of India, our judiciary.
There are many proceedings happening, both in the Indian state. When you do advocacy,
then you should have patience. You should have patience
when
to
you
wait
do
for the outcome.
When you advocacy, continue to not.
After 14 years, if the Supreme Court does not deliver something, you'll rush to America or England to say that the Supreme Court of the country is not functioning. So you take over.
Okay, Sambit, let us answer.
Look at the contrast. To what ma'am asked. I have an answer on board. Look at Rajiv Malhotra, who has been staying in America since 45 years. He has faith in India, but look at us who stay in India, who have faith in West. We should learn from Rajiv Malhotra.
Okay, listen guys, we're almost at the end of the show, so I'm requesting all of you now.
Every 4 hours. What if I write an article? Will you stop the internet?
Okay, let Rajiv, let JK Bajaj respond to
Writing an article and deposing in person in Parliament is different.
Okay, 1 minute.
I
can write 10 articles.
1 minute.
But I cannot go.
We have 5 minutes left on this show. I have to take a break. We have 5 minutes left on this show. I have to take a break. I am requesting all of you to make your last comments without interrupting each other. Let's just hear from the audience. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, I have a question. Freedom is paramount, and you won't barter it for all the stars in.
That's what the court said.
In the sky,
in another
that's
case.
what the court said. Yeah. So my question is, repeatedly anybody who opposes the government or clearly just has a different opinion is reprimanded. So why is this fault in our freedom really condoned?
Can we take one more question and then Sambit you can respond to that?
Yeah, actually I have something similar to say. We always portray democracy as one of our strengths, but aren't we curtailing it by not letting her go and speak.
If we are proud of our democracy and our freedom, that means we have the means within our own country to resolve disputes without going to some ma-baap elsewhere. The British came to India because they positioned themselves as people who offered law and order and justice to Indian people, which the Indian people could not do on their own. So if we are helpless people, victims looking to the West for ideas and looking to the West for guiding us, we are not a democracy then. We are basically a sham democracy if we can't solve our own problems using our own strategies.
See, I'll give a very philosophical answer. How I wish that the world should be a single world, there should be no divisions, no boundaries. But the reality is, we have geopolitical boundaries and we are called as nations and countries. Let America dissolve its boundaries, let other countries dissolve.
Kavita, I know your hand's up, but I've got to take a break. When we come back, last comments only. We're out of time. We'll take a few more questions from the audience, and then all of you get 40 seconds each to make your point without interrupting the other. Taking a quick break, coming back for last comments in a moment from now.
I want to ask the government, what is the government trying to do by protecting the economic interests of a company that's registered in UK who are violating rights of communities in Mahan? I didn't disturb, I want to complete.
Exactly the same number of times.
It's her time now. It's her time.
Also, the people of Mahan are fighting for their lives and livelihoods, and why can't the government act on them?
Welcome back. You're watching We the People. We're debating the face-off between the government and Greenpeace. Before we get literally just last comments from our panel, we'll take a couple of questions from the audience. Yes.
I want to say that everyone is trying to say here that India needs the West. Well, what I feel is India doesn't need the West. The West needs India.
She's on the eastern side.
Okay.
What are the plans of the government for this entire issue of locating the tribals so that the Greenpeace does not have to intervene at all?
Very good. Very important.
Okay. You have a question?
You know, SR, it is based in the UK, but it works over here, right? The problem is in India. Why can't you keep it in India and battle against SR in India itself?
Okay. Yes. Let's take a couple of more questions and then we can get last comments. Yes.
The whole debate is about IB report here. Don't you think that the IB report is partisan here? Don't you think that we have a need of another report wherein a commission has got wide representation even from Greenpeace and the NGOs?
Okay.
Yeah. I think we should realize that we are living in a world where dissent is criminalized. Where any form of saying out things which the government doesn't approve of, right at the level of a Greenpeace activist flying to UK or a person in the ground.
You see it as anti-dissent.
Or a person in the village against the collector. Everybody is criminalized and put in jail.
Okay, okay. Last two questions here and then final comments from our panel. Yes.
The defense from the government on this violation of fundamental rights is that because we get impositions and sanctions from Western countries based on the testimony of the activists. Yes. But what about the army of IFS officers we have posted outside? Can't they submit the government's side on the...
So can't India's diplomats India's point of view?
Technical point.
Why, Sambit, I'm coming.
Yeah. We're not trying to understand here that the environmental degradation and human rights violation is not a national issue, it's a global phenomenon. So we need to focus here on the human rights violation.
Okay, last question.
There's a specific pattern that I see in the NGOs, that 90% of their energies are invested in opposing something new which is happening. I don't see that enthusiasm in promoting new projects, in say promoting a solar project or promoting a wind farm, as much as they invest their energies in opposing something new which is happening.
Now we'll start with last comments. We'll start with you, Kavita. 40 seconds to everybody. Equal time to everybody. 40 seconds. Go.
Very clearly that the ones who are taking foreign funding and working against the interests of India's poor people, Adivasis and peasants, are in fact the parties like the BJP and Congress. They are the ones who are appointing as economic advisors people who have egged foreign nations on to... These are against India. Those people are actually in the steering seat for economic policies. And even when it comes to funded NGOs which are problematic, they are the ones who have the corporates and the government. So they said Vedanta has run campaigns even on the 40 channels.
Barkha, I have lived in the houses and villages of Mahan region, of Sidin, Singrauli, amongst the tribal people there. And God knows they do need voluntary service, but they do need people who will come and sit with them, stay with them, and do something for them. But I don't think they need foreign agencies, people working in the international.
We're closing the debate.
Global
Let's not reopen it.
to work for them. Let me just give me a
last point.
I quote Mahatma Gandhi on what he said about voluntary service. He said, "I am so constructed that I can only serve my immediate neighbors.
Yes.
But in my conceit, I pretend to have discovered that I must, with my body, serve every individual in the universe."
Yeah.
These NGOs are trying to do that. Okay. They are in home.
Okay, Vrinda,
they should go to Mahan, work there.
40 seconds up, sir. 40 seconds up. Come on now, Vrinda.
I think what we are noticing here is a very dangerous tendency. There is an ultra-nationalism being projected, which is actually promoting multinational corporate business. And the freedoms of citizens and the rights of those who are most vulnerable, the indigenous people, their livelihood and their land is being taken away. Who will you go and sit with once SR has destroyed everything? And climate change and environmental sustainability are global issues. There must be global advocacy.
Sambit, 40 seconds.
All this.
Sambit, 40 seconds.
Indian government does not stop anyone from going and deposing in United Nations, because there even the Indian perspective would be taken into view. But you cannot go and depose in UK or America because they do not take the Indian view. What is this? What is this? I was not interrupting. Have mannerism and civility.
Please, we're at the end of the show.
Please, be
we're
civil.
at the end of the show.
Secondly, the Britishers have left India. They did not work for India. Don't think that they will come and work for India. Don't try to bring them back.
Okay, the British company is destroying India.
Okay, I want to ask the government.
40 seconds.
Yes, I want to ask the government, what is the government trying to do by protecting the economic interests of a company that's registered in UK, who are violating rights of communities in Mahan?
I
didn't disturb. I want to speak.
Exactly the same number of times.
It's her time now. It's her time.
Also, the people of Mahan are fighting for their lives and livelihoods, and why can't the government act on them? We've been shouting from on top of the roof for 4 years that there's forgery that's happened there. Everything is wrong. What has the government done till date? I want to know that. Come out and do something about it.
Rajiv, last comments.
Okay. Indian problems should be solved by Indian people in India. And if the democracy needs improvement, the tribals need more rights or anything like that, we have to fix our system. If the legal system is not working, we have to fix our system. But the solution is not by running off somewhere else. Also, the West has double standards. Look what happened to Snowden. Look what happened to Julian Assange.
Yeah.
These are the decisions. May I have my 40 seconds without your interruption, please?
Okay, come on, come on.
So they are speaking with double-faced, because on the one hand they have suppressed their own freedom, and on the other hand they're championing Indians' freedoms. Basically what they're doing is recruiting an army of new kind of sepoys. Like the British had sepoys with guns, now we have sepoys with atrocity literature who go around fighting against India.
Meghnad. Meghnad, we've got to close the show.
I think India should be confident of itself. It's an open, liberal society. Whatever happens here can be easily seen without Priya Pillai going abroad. It's an open, people can find it out. Let's not be afraid of the West. The West is not a threat to India. There's no country which is a threat to India. We live in a global time, and we will always interact about these things. So just forget the paranoia. Live confidently and let India be an open society which is open to criticism. Contribute.
I will end by saying that while the government has every right to demand transparency from the NGO sector as it does from any other sector, if the world's largest democracy cannot make room for legitimate dissent, I think that raises questions of deep concern. So there are questions on both sides, but dissent is precious, and that right to dissent has to be preserved.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much to our panel and to our